Right, we'll do a couple of questions. Mainly questions 7 and 8 people were having trouble with. Turn around this way. Just to recap, for example, we'll do one of the questions from question 1, part IX. Exercise 11.1. Square root of minus 144 is equal to square root of 144, which is a square number, times the square root of minus 1. Square root of 144 is what? 12. And the square root of minus 1 is equal to I. So it's 12i. We'll do question 2. Is there any particular one you want done? Question 2? Well, for example, we'll do the square root of minus 43. So you break it up into square root of 43 times the square root of minus 1. And you can't get the square root of 43 straight off, so you can leave it like that. Square root of 43i. Question 3. Square root of minus 125. Now you can't get the square root of 125, so you break it up into, well, what square number? A square number, a number, and a minus 1. So the square number here is 25 times 5 is 125 times minus 1 is minus 125. It's 5 square root of 5i. This is called, that's a third. The square root of 5 is a third. Question from question 4. For example, we'll do part IV, the last bit. Minus 44 plus square root of minus 99. Right, so for 44, we'll take a square number. Well, what number will divide into both, first of all?
9, 3.
Looking up. Bigger than that? Bigger than 9? 11. So a number, first of all, we need a number that will divide into both. Alright, so 4 times 11 is 44. And we need a minus 1 there. That's the left hand side. That's that bit. And then we need to sort out the square root of minus 99. So it's 9 times 11 is 99, and we need the minus 1.
Where do you get the minus 1?
So it's minus 99.
Oh, yeah.
So we need the minus. 9 times 11 is just 99, times minus 1 is minus 99. I shall tidy it up. The square root of 4 is 2, square root of 11, and this is I. Plus, on the right hand side, square root of 9 is 3, square root of 11, and square root of minus 1 is I. Now these two are the same, we can add them. 2 and 3 is 5, square root of 11i. There's 5 of them. There's 3 of these, sorry, 2 of these, 3 of these, so there's 5 of them altogether. Right, question 5. We'll take, they're all as difficult or as easy as each other. First thing you do is turn around. Move the 25 across. So anybody who hasn't got the homework done should be writing these down as we go along. Is equal to minus 25. So z is equal to square root of minus 25. So break up square root of minus 25 into the square root of 25 times the square root of minus 1. Z is equal to 5i. Example from question 6. Z squared plus 26 is equal to 0. The last one, vi. So z squared is equal to minus 26. Is there a square number that will divide into 26? Don't think so. So z is equal to square root of minus 26. So break it up into the square root of 26 times the square root of minus 1. So square root of 26i. There's no square number that will divide into 26, so we'll just leave it as the square root of 26. Sit behind your table, turn right around the whole way, take down the questions to go along.
I've done.
Right, example from question 7. Alright, if we do, for example, if we do I to the power of 3, so that's going to be, we can break it up into I squared times I. So I to the power of 3 is equal to, so I squared, there's another rule, I squared is equal to minus 1, that's another rule. So minus 1 times I minus I. So that's right. So if we do an even number, what happens if it's even? I to the power of 6. So you can break it up into I squared times I squared times I squared. Remember, I squared is equal to minus 1. So minus 1 times minus 1 times minus 1. So minus times a minus is a plus, times a minus is a minus. So minus 1. Right, so you can keep going. You could do I-45, you could do it the long way. I'll show you a shortcut later on as to how to do it. So how many I squareds, how many 2's will divide into 45 first of all?
No.
2 into 45?
No.
Many times? 45 divided by 2. It will go in 2 and it will go 22 and a remainder of 1. So it'll go in 22 times. So that's 22 of these I squareds. 22 is an even number, isn't it? So am I going to end up with minus 1 or a 1 when I multiply all the minuses? Remember I said 22 is an even number. So there's 3 of them. If I keep going. So it's even, isn't it? They're in pairs. Alright. So that's, so 22 of them. So 22 of these in a row. So it's going to be, it's an even number. So minus 1 times minus 1. For example, if you have minus 1, if it's an even number of minus 1s, you're going to end up with a plus 1, aren't you? If we had 23 I squareds, an odd number of them, we'll end up with a minus 1 when we multiply them, all. So we have an even number of I squareds, so we're going to end up with plus 1, and we have a remainder of 1. The remainder at the end times I. So it's going to be 1i. you understand that? I could write it out the long way. So that's 1i. I could write it out the long way. I'd have to write out all 22 of them. And then multiply -1 times -1 times -1 times -1 times -1. 22 of them. I'd still get +1. And there's an I remaining because there's 45 of them. So I get I. Right, question 8. Simplify the following and give your answer in PI. So your answer needs to look like this. P is just a number because it says P is an element of n. What are natural numbers? P is an element of n. Natural numbers are 1, 2, 3. P can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, going on forever. Natural number. So it's telling me that the answer here, this number here, is a natural number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, on up to infinity. Alright, so we have to get an answer. So it's 2i to the power of 7. Simplify the following and give your answer. Alright. Alright, so it's 2i times, basically, 2i times 2i. It's 4 of them. 5, 6, 7. Right, so we'll start off by multiplying these two first. What's 2i times 2i? This way. Write it down. 2i times 2i. 4i squared. But what is I squared? I squared is equal to -1. So I can replace I squared with -1. What's -1 times 4? -4. Alright. I can do that, this bit here as well. What's 2i times 2i? Again, you'd still get, you get -4, wouldn't you? What's this 2i times this 2i? -4. And then we've got this bit here. 2i. Alright, so first of all, we'll multiply, because we're still multiplying. All these are multiplied. -4 times -4 is 16 times -4 times -4, let's double check, -64 times 2i, -128i. Alright, so P, the number, -128i.